When I was a child, I dreamt of becoming a detective. I loved how TV detectives solved their cases. One thing they had in common, whether it was Kojak or Sherlock Holmes, was their element of surprise, or a lack thereof for a certain Johnny English, who knew that one day I would become a worm detective. Worms are the single biggest problem for growing lambs after nutrition, costing the New Zealand sheep industry $300 million yearly. But what's worse is we are losing our element of surprise with controlling worms. You might be familiar with deworming drugs, from using it on your pets, farm animals, or kids. But the regular use of these drugs on all animals repeatedly and regularly has led to an alarming development of resistant worms. You know how a secret food recipe is passed from one generation to another, right? That's what worms do, except what they're passing on is a genetic recipe to give themselves an upper hand over these drugs. This is not a sustainable way to farm sheep. Now, research has shown that targeting treatment to individual animals not only halts resistance, it can reverse it. The challenge is finding effective and efficient ways to pinpoint who needs treatment in a flock of 1,000 lambs, for instance. The current way we detect infected lambs is by collecting fecal samples and counting eggs of worms that pass out in those feces in the microscope. This is time-consuming and tedious detective work, and not the most efficient or effective for farmers. So on my research, I'm using sheep behavior as a marker of infection. And I started by developing an algorithm to predict normal sheep behavior, if there ever was one. I did this by putting GPS and activity sensors like this on 6 sheep while I filmed them for 20 hours to observe what they were doing. I then used the numerical signatures from these sensors and compared those with the activity changes from the film as a true test. The algorithm was 90% accurate predicting sheep behavior. Sheep are predictable. With this algorithm, I monitored the movement and activity patterns of 52 worm-infected and uninfected lambs over a period of 1 year to observe behavioral changes. Some trends are found. Healthy sheep move 250 meters more every week compared to wormy lambs. Healthy sheep also graze over a 24-hour more than unhealthy lambs. Using cognitive computing, we are proving the concept that innate behavioral signatures of sheep can be used as a marker for when sheep are healthy and happy, from when they are wormy and need a tablet. By integrating this information into existing electronic identification air tags, a farmer can target treatment to individual animals, lowering costs and preserving the integrity of drugs. It is research like this that will bring down the wall of resistant worms. Thank you.
Thank you, Seer. Any questions for Seer?
How predictable do you think your average cow will be? You know,
More predictable than sheep, I think.
Yeah. So what other species do you think you could extend this to?
Cattle is the next logical, and it's foreseeable that in dairy cows this will be more useful technology, but it's more expensive to research in dairy cows, so we try in sheep and we are seeing good success. So yeah, dairy cows is the next logical step.
Brilliant, thanks.
Yeah.
There are a variety of conditions that might slow a sheep down, right? So there's all sorts of diseases and things.
Absolutely.
Are you able to be specific about what
Yes. So well, we created the experimental conditions as best we could, vaccines, treatments for other conditions, and only left worms in our control groups, and we treated our healthy groups for worms and other things, you know, to remove as much as possible. But yes, there are many things that could make a sheep slow down. You do it as best you can. Yeah.
So is there a seasonal and weather-related
Absolutely,
variances? There
there is, and even an age factor as well. So there's many factors. Seasons, it changes. The type of worm, type of nematode also changes how it is. 3 minutes is too short, but happy to talk about it. Yes, but there's several factors that will change, and all these need to be investigated, including the breed of sheep. I've done my research in only 2 breeds of sheep, Perindales and Romneys. There's heaps of, so that's lots of work for me. Thank you. But yeah, there's many factors, and there's lots of research we can go on from here. Yeah.
Thank you, Seer.
Thank you.